Episode 223. You are the problem and you are the solution.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilsa.
And it's Wednesday. Welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Somehow my lips are, strange. So today we're going to talk about something like a quantum state, which, in a sense, I read in a Buddhist, what do you want to call it? Lecture? I don't know. Get together, whatever. So this quote was exploited, and it kind of stuck with me because it helped me to reflect on several statuses that I've been in myself, and that's why we're going to be dissecting that briefly today. Because housekeeping, number one, views my own, yada yada yada. Number two, sharing is caring. If this episode could help anyone in the world, which it more likely than not could, then please share it through your social media channels far and wide. Number three, construction site, ongoing. So disturbances are to be considered. Also, we have guests checking out and guests checking in. And so, the whole ordeal is going down right now. And that's why this episode is also going to be a bit briefer. However, if there's one episode that could be left by itself to reflect upon without any further comment to it, it's this. Because you can be, and more often than not are, both the problem and the solution. And here's why. So, for the longest time when I started my business, inevitably, when you do it for the first time, you have issues, like, for instance, finding clients, because, first of all, you need to establish your network if you haven't done so already, and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff keeping clients away from you. And for the first time, or not for the first time, but for quite a while, I would make everything and anyone responsible for not getting my hands on clients, and looking back on it, I was the problem because, I hadn't really done all that I could, to get my hands on leads, first of all, not speaking of clients yet even, but I made, like I said, anything and everyone else responsible for that, stuff not working out, marketing people not doing their job that I had paid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not knowing, of course, that it takes a certain amount of time for, your business to get up and running, to have the network, which I, later found out is also possible online through platforms like LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. So, while I was really the problem, I was also the solution, in that I sat down, worked even harder, not throwing my money at marketing and advertising folks, but, actually doing it myself, expanding my network, getting trusted relationships, establishing trusted relationships with friends out there that I connected through, social media platforms, and building trust, meeting with them, even if it was through Skype or, anything else by along those lines, and eventually, actually very quickly, these relationships started to build, and information came my way. For instance, the information about search engine optimization and how you could actually achieve that people find and visit your website. And so, all of these things started to happen, started to pour in through the network that I was building, which in turn led to my business starting to flourish within 6 months. So you see, at the same time, I was the problem, but I was the only solution that was going to change those things. Because, the marketers and advertisers that I was talking, they didn't care. They took my money, they did their job, they posted cut bread kind of advertisements on their platforms and so on and so forth. And, the traffic wasn't really wasn't really interested in what I was selling because they were clicking on the advertisements, and they were like, yeah, okay, neat, I'll look at it. But they weren't really interested. So this whole ordeal of search engine optimization, which I then practiced very successfully, even within the business, led to the fact that, people were actually searching what I was offering online and landing on my website, rather than, clicking on a random advertisement that was somewhere. So, that's about it to this quantum state. So when you are, confronted with a problem, analyze whether you are causing the problem and whether you could be the solution to the problem at the same time. And I know, we're back at awareness, and that's the coffee machine running up. So I've got to get going in a moment. I hope that this was, kind of an interesting inspiration to you. Look into that. Look back at all of the episodes that we spoke about awareness, because this is obviously insanely important for this whole thing to pan out. And have a nice rest of your Wednesday. If you've already had your Wednesday, have a good night. Leave your hands above the blanket. We'll be in touch tomorrow with another construction site episode. Stay safe, folks, and see you tomorrow.